The smarter you are, the harder it is to lose belly fat. And that comes from 10 years of watching men outthink themselves and stay stuck. And the pattern I see most often isn't laziness, a bad diet, or a broken metabolism. It's the men who struggle the most are usually the ones that are working hardest. My name is Adam. I'm a performance nutritionist, and over the last decade, I've helped over 200 men lose their belly fat using this simple system I'm going to share with you. Let's start with my client, Richard, who sent me a message about 8 months into working together. He lost a good amount of weight. He was making some good progress. But over the last 6 weeks, not much was happening. But in the background, he had built a spreadsheet, not a food diary. It was color coded, macro tracker with tabs for micronutrients, sleep scores, training loads, and something he called a weekly adherence rating. He'd spent weeks on it, sent it to me like he was filing a report. And remember, at this point, he hadn't lost like a pound in several weeks. I think it was 6 weeks. And after seeing a similar thing multiple times, I kind of knew what to look for. Richard had turned eating into a second job. Well, the whole process. Every decision, what to eat, when to eat, whether that meal fit the spreadsheet was drawing from the same limited mental resource. And once that resource runs low, your brain stops choosing what's good for you and starts choosing what's easy. Not easy in a good way. Yes, he was meticulous and structured during the day, but would get to 8 p.m. and completely feel depleted, open the fridge, make the exact choices that he'd be trying to avoid all week. And you can probably guess it, but he wasn't failing because he lacked discipline. I mean, that spreadsheet he built was seriously impressive. He was failing because the system he'd built was burning through his ability to make decisions. But I didn't tell him to track less. I told him to decide less. There's a big difference here. Tracking is useful and I encourage it, but not to this degree, unless you really enjoy it. So I told him that I wanted him to automate some of his decisions. What to eat, what to cook, whether something fits the plan. Those needed to stop happening in real time. You can't rely on your brain in real time, honestly. It will play tricks. So we picked 2 breakfasts he alternated. Then he stopped thinking about breakfast entirely because these were 2 that he liked, he enjoyed, and he could eat on rotation. We then built 3 dinner templates. We didn't focus on complicated recipes, but templates, the protein, the veg, and the carb source, along with a sauce or seasoning. And he rotated them through the week. Sometimes he would eat the same dinner like 6 nights in a row. Now dinner stopped being a decision. Within months, his adherence was better than it had ever been, and he started losing body fat again. Not because he was trying harder, but because he stopped spending effort on the things that didn't require effort. The plan that works long term isn't the plan that works best on paper. It's the one that survives your tired Tuesday nights or that Thursday evening when you're scrolling through Uber Eats. So yeah, I get it. We've dived deeper on this in another video, but I keep seeing this garbage pop up. Take a tablespoon of this to lower cortisol. Do this to lower cortisol. This is why you've got belly fat. The cortisol conversation. You've probably heard it just as much as me. Stress belly, high cortisol locking fat into your stomach. So you need to fix your hormones and the fat just disappears. And yes, there's something to it, but it's massively overstated. A hard session, a bad night's sleep, a difficult meeting. Your body handles that all fine. Cortisol spikes and then drops back down. That's not what's building your waistline. What matters is the pattern. When no real recovery in place, what matters is the pattern. When there's no real recovery in place, you're always switched on, always optimizing. That's when the problems start, and they start slowly. You get worse sleep, you get higher levels of hunger, and your training quietly goes to shit. This will lead to more central fat accumulating over the months and years. The men I work with who are stuck in this pattern have one thing in common. There's no off switch in their day. They finish work and immediately open their fitness app. They might close it. Then they watch YouTube videos while eating, maybe stuff on nutrition, stuff like that. But they don't switch off. And I've had clients with scheduled breathing protocols, but they still felt chronically wired. Your body doesn't need another tool. It needs to believe at some point in the day that emergency is over. Okay, so you might have noticed recently I've been taking some shots at the fitness industry, not because I have some specific problem with it, but because of the way it's going. It doesn't like simplicity. It likes you confused, because being confused, having a confused man is just a better business model, especially when a clear, boring plan is what works. So it sells precision, continuous glucose monitors you don't need, biohacking protocols that address symptoms while ignoring the causes. The idea that the results aren't coming, you need more data. But what the research actually shows is that when you control for calories and protein and resistance training, almost everything else just becomes noise. You eat enough protein, you spend time in a moderate deficit that's consistent, and don't let the weekends undo the week. That's what produces the results, and everything else is just noise you've convinced yourself is necessary. Okay, so I want to leave you with something practical. I want you to do these things this week from now. Remove one layer of complexity. If you're using a continuous glucose monitor, it goes in the bin. Kidding, you can sell it on eBay but just stop using it, especially if you don't have diabetes. I mean, if you have diabetes, that's a different story. But if you don't, put it in the drawer, the bin, on eBay, wherever. And if you have multiple apps tracking your food, pick one. Complexity can feel like effort, but most of the time it's just friction, and you want less friction. Then make 2 meals automatic. This is a big one. Pick a breakfast and a lunch that work for you. Roughly the right calories, well, roughly the same calories, enough protein, and you eat them on autopilot most weekdays. That alone removes dozens of daily decisions and keeps the mental energy for the moments that actually matter. Now build one genuine off switch into your day. That could be 20 minutes without your phone, no content, no decisions, like a walk or sitting down, an activity, just something that helps you unwind. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that your nervous system gets a signal that the day isn't a permanent emergency. So Richard lost 25 pounds over the following months. His spreadsheet is still on his computer and he doesn't open it anymore. Stop overthinking things and focus on reducing the amount of decisions you have to make. And if you enjoyed this video, subscribe and watch this video next. I'll see you there.